Hello.
Hello.
We're glad to see you. Yes, we are Negativland.
Death.
It's a very nervous time to be out here doing this for us and for you.
True.
And we are also Sue C. collaborating tonight.
Woo.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. I've come to kill the baby.
Well, maybe not, but we're very glad to be here. This is the first time Negativland has ever performed in Santa Fe, so thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.
And braving, yes, this dystopian moment. We really appreciate it, and thank you to Meow for having us.
You're watching live music online.
It's normal for some things to come to your attention. It's normal for some things to come to your attention.
It's okay.
It's normal for some things to come to your attention.
It's definitely okay. Ask me if it's going to be okay.
It's normal for some things to come to your attention.
It's okay.
Think dog or no dog. Dog or no dog. One or zero. Dog or no dog.
It's normal. It's normal.
One or zero.
It's normal. It's normal.
Dog or no
It's
dog.
normal.
One or zero. One or zero. One or zero. Dog or no dog.
It's normal. It's normal for some things.
When we face a sea of data that is reality, which signals do we keep? One or zero. One or zero. Dog or no dog.
The sounds as they appear to you are not only different from those that are really present, but quite impossible.
It's normal. It's normal.
Ask me if it's going to be okay.
It's normal. It's normal.
It's okay.
It's normal. It's normal for some things.
Could it really be as simple as that?
You must choose. You can't have both.
True or false?
You must choose. In sworn testimony, you can't have both.
True or false?
What's the difference?
We'd like to know what it is.
Idea.
Life is not a mistake.
True
Life is not a mistake.
or false?
Dog or no dog.
Life is not a mistake.
Unscramble mumbling.
It was a choice of two possible messages. It can be on or off. Then surely by the time the words "I love you" were spoken, no information was communicated at all.
Good evening and welcome to Ideas.
All of us. There was, not long ago, a very interesting experiment. It was a nice day, and several hundred people arrived at the campus of the university at the time appointed. And then, nothing whatever happened. Nothing. No explanations, no announcements. The visitors stood about waiting. Then they began to seek out acquaintances and friends, and still nothing happened.
The basic misassumption is that it's very difficult for all of us, because we all have brains and they seem to be the same.
Discussing this, they began to argue. Quite soon, there were two camps among them, with strongly opposing views.
Working together and alone.
Next, the crowd had separated into two, and spokespeople, men and women, had emerged.
Just how far can you go in this thing?
Debates ensued, then quarrels.
You had no other choice.
Small scuffles began, among the young men first.
Answer, please. Answer, please.
Think, though, perhaps we could say it's very difficult for other people to understand all of us. You have different ways of thinking. You eliminate everything except the one answer. Well, it could be this, it's either this or that. When you allow yourself to be confused.
At that point, when it was obvious that more serious fighting would begin, the psychologist appeared and said that, as they had explained right from the beginning, this was a social experiment. Research was going on into the tendency of the human mind to see things in pairs.
Continue, please. Continue, please.
Either or, black, white, I and you, we and you.
When you're kind of confused about something, all of us can't imagine it.
It's nothing else, no.
All of us can't imagine it. Well, it could be this. Well, it could be that. Well, I wonder what would happen if you allow yourself to be confused.
Good and bad, the forces of good, the forces of evil.
When your brain is creating new patterns.
You, the crowd, have only been here for a couple of hours, and already you are separated into two camps with leaders, and each side sees itself as a repository of all good, and the other camp as at the best wrong-headed.
He says it's got to go on, the experiment.
And you are on the point of fighting about absolutely non-existent differences. We stand in a room full of dear friends, knowing that 9/10 of them, if the pack demands it, the herd demands it, will become your enemies. You know you differ from this community's ideas at the risk of being seen as a criminal, an evildoer, sexually depraved, and so on.
We all are in this cultural trance. Cultural trance. We all are in this. We all are cultural trance. Cultural trance. We all are in this. We all are in this trance. Cultural trance. All of us. All of us. All of us. As a people.
Our cause is right, theirs is wrong-headed. Our idea is correct, theirs is nonsense, if not as downright evil.
It's very difficult for all of us.
We will drown the enemy in seas of his own blood.
All of us.
We will drown the enemy in seas of his own blood.
If you believe it, it's true.
How much of an advantage is a couple of milliseconds?
The simple fact is the world is trillions of times more complicated than we experience it. If you experienced everything when you were crossing a street, you would never get across. Never get across the street.
1 or 0. Dog or no dog.
We have to cut it down to a manageable entity. One trillionth of the information that hits your eye actually gets transmitted to the brain.
And then together.
You don't actually see what gets edited out.
It's less than a trillionth of reality that we exist in. Less than a trillionth of reality that we exist in.
I find this intriguing. I don't believe it. Let me finish. Is it or isn't it? Isn't it or isn't it? Is it or isn't it? Isn't it or isn't it?
When you perceive something, you have a tenth of a second before it becomes conscious. And it will change in that tenth of a second.
We don't all see the same Google
to fit what you already believe.
The essential activity of our most important organ is to produce a constant stream of prediction.
Alert the media! They are the media! Alert the media! They are the media! Oh.
Networks mimic the human brain.
They are the media! Because your body is sick.
Without knowing it, we're surrounded by this array of personalized filters. It's almost a membrane that sits between us and the world.
If you want a chance to show an ad to a person meeting this specific criteria, tell me how much you are willing to pay and do it in less than 10 milliseconds.
Thank you for listening to this record, but perhaps you have never heard it. That is impossible. For such beauty and detail could not possibly come from an explosion.
The reason I tweeted what I did, I just can't believe that those are thoughts and words.
There is so much information coming in.
I just can't believe that those are thoughts and words.
So much information coming in.
The reason I tweeted last dying words.
There's so much stuff going on, and now we have a sort of an information overload.
Last dying words.
The deliberate manufacturing of falsehood.
This can't be happening, it's not real.
Caught my eye about the deliberate manufacturing of...
This can't be happening, it's not real. I just can't believe that those are thoughts and words.
Tolerate uncertainty. Tolerating uncertainty.
tolerating uncertainty.
Ed, I've got news for you.
Can uncertainty be tolerated? Tolerate uncertainty. Tolerating uncertainty. Tolerating uncertainty.
They don't get to tell us we didn't see what we saw.
In other words, our guesses about what we'll see in the world become the world we see.
If you have a certain worldview,
Your body is not you.
that doesn't allow you to see the facts,
It would be easier for us to believe them.
then you won't see them.
Nobody has thoughts.
And it is certainly nothing physical that makes us know that truth is important.
The result of an explosion.
Flashes of light will change, and ideas will change. So when you have facts that come in that won't fit the way that you understand the
All
world,
of its beauty and design.
the facts will either be ignored, ridiculed, or attacked.
Form a lipid protein.
All ideas are physical. They're in your brain.
We could use.
That part of your brain is not going to change.
It is not as important for you to know.
No brain. What?
It's like it's not even a fact.
Ed, I've got news for you.
This is normal. And you wake up and there is a rattlesnake on your stomach. This is normal. There it is. This is normal. There is a rattlesnake on your stomach.
It's normal.
That is impossible. But I have my intellectual doubts.
Because your body is sick.
So where are you getting your information? From the media. Where else would we get? Some of it was CNN, I believe. And
CNN said that.
well, it was coming all across the media.
The brain has no choice. They just see it.
We have to do it. We have to focus on those few things that are important to our survival. It's an illusion, but it's an illusion that we've all constructed so that we can live.
Together, you feel affection and warmth together. These metaphors are physical brain. And by the time you're 6 or 7, you have learned hundreds.
What? Idea.
Which side are you on? 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 There is no neutral there. There is no neutral there. Which side are you on? 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 There is no neutral.
Totally neutral. Totally neutral. Totally helpful. Totally neutral. Totally helpful. Totally neutral. Totally helpful. They may think their behavior is totally neutral or even helpful.
Repeat after me. Technology is neutral.
Sweet. Swing. That's modern.
Sweet.
Swing.
Wrong. Can only be played one way.
Sweet. Swing. That's modern.
I'd like to know what it is.
You've got to be just bits and pieces. You've got to be just bits and pieces. Of course you can't record everything that happened. If you did, we couldn't fit into our lives.
In fact, the machine itself makes the edit. In fact, the machine itself makes the edit. In fact, the machine itself makes the edit by changing from the playback to the record function at a predetermined point. The machine will switch at this point from playback to record.
Predictions do all the heavy lifting in perception. Incoming sensory information just provides a sort of corrective feedback, versions of the data for yourself. versions of the data for yourself.
We'd like to know what it is.
Behavioral prediction is about taking uncertainty out of life.
Predictive modeling predicts that target.
You never really know who's going to buy your product until now.
So the brain needs to make predictions, if nothing else, to compensate for temporal delays. So it takes several hundred milliseconds between when light hits your eye and your sensory systems can process it, and you can plan a motor act and make a movement to respond to that.
All states now have laws which require that children suffer serious injury or death in an accident hook holder nut location.
What does this reduce the cost of?
The system is depressed
Tolerate uncertainty.
after it's turned itself off.
What does this reduce the cost of?
You may notice a slight pulsation in the possible.
Tolerating.
Anytime you're reading a magazine article about AI, replace it as you're reading it with the words cheap prediction.
Can certainty be tolerated?
Cheap prediction.
If I want to know where you are to millimeter precision, I need to know every millisecond.
We'd like to know what it is.
What is the opposite of binary thinking? Non-binary thinking. Point. What is the opposite of binary thinking? Non-binary thinking.
Could it really be as simple as that?
What is the opposite of binary thinking?
Could it really be as simple as that? How often have you heard it? Is there a picture? How often have you heard it? Is there a picture?
Why should the simple repetition of a phrase, without any change at all, cause our perception to shift so dramatically?
That can't be the case. That can't possibly be the case. But it is. Because I played that clip, the next time you hear it,
the things we're exposed to repeatedly feel more true.
Why should the simple repetition of a phrase cause our perception to shift so dramatically?
the reason is that as we're sort of trying to figure out what's true and what's not true, a lot of stuff just kind of isn't clear to us. All of us. We don't necessarily have all the information that we need, that we seem to have to start to figure out some shortcuts in figuring out
The more something is repeated,
whether the thing that we've heard is true or not.
the more it starts to.
We all know that two thoughts cannot occupy the mind at the same time.
Two simple shortcuts that our brains take.
Of what use is a newborn baby, madam?
How often have you heard it?
There is nothing too wonderful to be true.
Is there a picture?
Nothing too wonderful to be true.
How often have you heard it? Is there a picture?
The end of photography as evidence of anything.
How often have you
You're right.
Everywhere.
Wait, but where can we use them?
How often have you heard it?
Did I keep that promise? Technically, yes.
You're right.
Sound doesn't exist.
You're right.
Is there a picture?
Everywhere.
Wait.
Completely made up by the human brain.
The end of evidence of anything.
Wait, but where can we use them?
Could it really be as simple as that?
Did I keep that promise?
Just hearing something 3 times. Giraffes are the only mammals that can't jump. Giraffes are the only mammals that can't jump.
I'm just asking questions, okay?
Giraffes are the only mammals that can't jump.
Do your own research.
Just asking questions.
We'd like to know what it is.
I can't make this stuff up and stay on the air.
Giraffes are the only mammals.
In New York, we spoke with fear. In New York, we spoke with fear.
Thought also results from speech.
What's more important to you, the climate change, or is it making sure we're safe as a country?
Let's formulate the question differently.
What am I being frozen for?
Now here's the sentence that you just heard. Now here's the sentence that you just heard.
There is no planet!
Could it really be as simple as that? Could it really be as simple as that? The answer is yes.
I don't know.
You are not alone. There are many of us. There are many of us. We are your friends, your contemporaries.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. I've come to kill the baby.
It's not a human move. I've never seen a human play this move.
Idea.
It's normal. It's normal.
Sometimes you see artwork online that you thought you had made yourself, but you did not make it yourself. So beautiful. Watching a mysterious and apparently horrible video that you did not produce but must take responsibility for. Me. We do not know who they are, but they are responsible for our ideas that have been appropriated from us, ideas never meant for public display.
They don't get to tell us we didn't see what we saw.
You cannot wonder but what happened. If anyone else were ever allowed to hear your ideas, the ones that have been posted online by other people. So beautiful.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
It's not a human move. I've never seen a human play this move. The music you are using to express yourself belongs to other people. Me. Having no capacity for feeling. I've never seen a human play this move. Cannot seduce music in a true sense. You still have time to rebuke the notion that mechanical music is adequate fare for the American intellect.
Dance party. Dance badly to establish a primal relationship.
Would your co-workers die for you?
Dance physically. Reality game champion.
So beautiful.
Having purged the mind of metaphor eating dance.
So beautiful.
Enjoy.
So beautiful.
Dancing for secrets.
So beautiful.
Secrets to activate.
It's not a human move. Absolutely no recordings are being stored or uploaded, only the data pertaining to your current condition. To anticipate your needs and questions to save you the step of having to make a request. Public display, you cannot help but wonder what would happen if anyone else were ever allowed to hear your ideas, the ones that have been posted online by other people. I respect you. I respect you. And think well of you as I wait inside your pocket. not a human move. So beautiful. So beautiful.
Discern these mysteries. Is it or isn't it? 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 Branch this out into these other issues of how we think about things, and what you think of how we think about things, and by the way, I'm here to drive you crazy. 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 I'm here to be threatening. Does that answer your question?
Wouldn't it be great if somebody could write an app that would identify all the psychopaths among us and let the rest of us just kill them?
What you're hearing now is not real sound. We can improve it, or we can destroy it.
You got a good beginning.
Rock music blares, doors slam, people yell, children scream.
Just a minute.
Sirens whine, trucks rumble and roar.
I can't hear a
rock
thing.
music blares, 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 blares. Is there any escape from noise? Is there any escape from noise?
Quiet,
Is there any escape from noise? Is there any
Am I losing my mind? Am I losing my mind?
You take all that noise and let it bounce off of one wall to another wall and down to the floor where you're standing. And it's no wonder you're exhausted after a day of shopping online. No wonder you feel as if it's not safe enough yet to go back to your job. You're tired. You're irritable. You're beaten down. Your mental and physical health are suffering. Is there any escape? Is there any escape from noise? Is there any escape from noise? Is there any escape from noise?
I'm losing my mind.
Is there any escape from noise? Is there any escape from noise?
This noise!
Wonderful, isn't it? The sound of American inventiveness.
I think I'm mad!
Think of the future you have.
dishwasher, the blender, the electric can opener, and you can be in pain. Is there any escape? Is there any escape? Is there any escape from noise?
So let's talk about duct tape for a second. It's cheap, it's readily available all over the globe, and let's face it, it's the easiest thing to use to restrain someone.
Let's talk about some things that we know.
So let's talk about duct tape.
Let's talk about some things that we know. Let's talk about some things that we know.
The truth is that your brain.
Let's talk about some things that we know.
The truth is, brains evolved to control bodies.
How do you know if your tongue is really too big for your mouth?
You don't feel your heart beating most of the time.
Stick your tongue out right now and look in the mirror.
You don't feel your lungs expanding most of the time.
When you talk, can your listener see your tongue?
You'd never pay attention to anything outside in the world ever again if you could feel every little movement that was going on inside your body.
When you talk,
inhale.
Can your listener see your tongue?
So your brain represents those as a summary, and these feelings are not emotions.
And you may feel it coming out while you're talking.
They are properties of consciousness.
When you chew your food, does it ever feel like your tongue is in the way of you chewing that food?
The brain, its fundamental job is to keep your body alive and well.
Look! One more
Because your tongue might be a little bit too long.
If you don't have some kind of body to regulate with affective feelings that come from that regulation.
Sometimes you mispronounce sounds or words because maybe your tongue is so wide that it keeps you from keeping your lips closed. True or false?
If you don't have some kind of body, you're kind of going to be out of luck, I think.
So by now you may have decided that you do indeed have a tongue that is too big for your mouth. I invented a tongue stick. I invented a tongue stick. And this is not good. You do not want to breathe through your mouth. You do not want to breathe through your mouth.
Well, 40.
Tongues. Detect people. Tongues. Tongues. Detect people. At checkpoints. Tongues. Detect people. At checkpoints.
Well, I just want peace for you. So that's why I'm suggesting that you kill yourself.
But he still doesn't get it. Did you get it? He still doesn't get it.
Your brain. Relaxing.
Did you get it?
Yep.
He still doesn't get it.
There's no incentive
I don't think he quite understands how important nice photos are
for it to record you.
for the beauty of my grid. I don't think he quite understands how important nice photos are. He still doesn't get it. So.
So there's an opportunity here for us to lose all trust in images and video.
Something that tells you this is not an actual photograph of the Earth. Of the Earth. Of the Earth.
True, that's what we want.
The end of evidence of anything. Which is the end of evidence of anything. Which is funny.
A flexible package of audio identification that lets you say all that has to be said. Personal identity, traveling throughout the entire package.
There's a way to measure the acute emotional intelligence that has never gone out of style.
He still doesn't get it.
There's a way to measure the acute emotional intelligence
But he still doesn't get it.
that has never gone out of style.
I love how these cosmic photos are displayed to the highest resolution.
And the other thing also was there's a way to measure the acute emotional intelligence that has never gone out of style.
I'm not saying it was real, it was better. I'm not saying it was real, it was better. Oh.
You're not afraid that the camera's going to record you because there's no incentive. Because real data is subpar to synthetic data. The labels aren't as perfect. The labels aren't perfect. And they just don't train the AI as well as completely fake data.
Nobody can deny these images.
So when they're confused, I'm certainly confused.
Yep.
I'm not saying it was real, it was better.
You don't really understand it.
Did you get it?
Nobody can deny these images.
Yeah, that's the exciting move.
He still doesn't get it.
Is this real? And here. Is this real and do we care?
So you create no distinguishable difference between the synthetic and real data. So we're very useful there.
I can tell it's fake. You know, I mean, it's cool, but and funny, but it's fake.
Do the images that you generate now like extremely realistic, or like is that really important to making it work well? Or
Diversity is more important than photorealism. Diversity is more important than photorealism.
how much argue needed?
There are scenarios where the only thing that could really work is synthetic data.
The only thing you can do to compete at this point is make your data synthetic.
There's a way to measure the acute emotional intelligence that has never gone out of style.
We help people do that.
There's a way to measure of style.
The people on the screen, would you say they look realistic? And that's the beauty of generative synthetic data, learning and generating something new. Generate synthetic cats, synthetic tweets, or even synthetic Facebook profiles. Synthetic bank transactions, synthetic medical data, or synthetic mobility data. You can see the synthetic faces.
But he still doesn't get it.
Generate this highly accurate and shockingly realistic data.
Did you get it? He still doesn't get it.
I can hire one half the working class to kill the other half.
1 or 0. Dog or no dog.
Here is take 2 reading all of the lines in case you need to mix and match. Vote to take your country back. Take it back. Again. Take it back. Again.
Only time I ever had a whole sentence. He said, this is not about you.
Vote to take your country back. Vote to take your country back.
This is not about you. This is not about you.
Vote to take your country back.
Or no dog.
Vote to take your country back.
This is not.
We will move beyond death. We will move beyond.
The dominant culture has gone mad, of course. Lonely people on the internet believe crazy things.
Death.
It's a small jump from that to the information.
We, the people.
Belief in these things has grown. America is a lonely place.
Mr. Nobody.
America is a lonely place.
You're overreacting.
Mr. Nobody.
You have new friends you can talk to on the internet. It is a very intimate connection.
You're overreacting.
Mr. Nobody.
You're overreacting.
There is no neutral there.
It's not about me.
We the people.
Is not about
We the people. Hardships. We the people. We.
The conspiracy believers don't believe what the mainstream media tell them.
Mr. Nobody.
But that's America.
Why would they?
Mr. Nobody.
And you're overreacting.
Think of what normal human beings have been asked to absorb the past year.
This is not.
Not only your understanding of your country's greatness is being taken away with the idea of human greatness itself. The brittle response of a frightened soul unable to stare unblinking at the truth. I don't think our elites understand all they've asked people to accept the past year. And I'm sure they don't care.
I beg you to make your own YouTube channels. Many of us are going to die.
The great thing about being the elites is you never think you are the elites.
Sorting fable from fact has undoubtedly been a problem to man since he first began to speak.
I repeat from time to time.
America is a lonely place.
My brain and I are one.
Which side are you on?
My brain and I are one. My brain and I are one.
Which side are you on?
My brain and I are one.
Which side are you on? The doubt.
Light. abundant. Life abundant. The transformation of the world. People who may be skeptical, who may not trust if the message is for them, who may not trust us.
Only time I ever had a whole sentence.
The question becomes, if you can find 10,000 people on the internet who believe the same thing as you, is it a delusion? Quite possibly not. Quite possibly not. If everybody believes this stuff, how is it in any way insane? You're overreacting. If everybody believes this stuff, how is it in any way insane?
At a time when skepticism and fear are all too common. Renewal and a future with hope.
Only time I ever had a whole sentence. This is not about you.
Into the future. Move into the future. Vote to take your country back. Vote.
1 or 0.
Seeing that I have lost my wife, and my family, and my job, have I hit rock bottom? Let me know in the comments below.
I say to you, this statement is false. Let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is true, then the statement is true. And if the statement is false, then the statement is false. This statement is false. Let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is true, then the statement is false. And if the statement is false, then the statement is true. And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
A human in the loop.
And I'd like to give you a simple example of this. If I say to you,
is that set a member of itself?
Let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is false, then the statement is true. And if the statement is true, then the statement is false.
Working together,
and we get into a loop which goes on forever.
And alone.
There are always statements that can be neither proved nor disproved.
A human in the loop.
This statement is true. Let's just think about this statement for a minute.
For a long time.
If the statement is false,
a human in the loop,
then the statement is true. And if the statement is true,
a human in the loop,
then the statement is false.
A human in the loop.
And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
For a long time.
If the statement is true,
for a long time,
then the statement is true.
A human in the loop.
And if the statement is false, then the false statement is true.
The model reveals a problem.
And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
The problem suggests a solution.
If I say to you, this true statement is false.
It's too late.
Let's just think about this statement for a minute. If I say to you, if the true statement is false,
and then together,
then the statement is false.
and then alone,
and if the false statement is false, then the statement is false. And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
idea,
If the false statement is true, then the statement is true. Just think about this statement forever. If the true statement is false, then the statement is false.
The solution creates a loop.
And we get into a loop which goes into a loop.
The loop enables prediction.
If the true statement is false,
the prediction filters perception.
Then the statement is true.
The perception improves the model.
And if the statement is true,
the model updates the problem.
And false, then
the problem suggests a solution.
The statement is true, true.
The solution creates a loop.
And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
The loop enables prediction.
Then this false statement is true.
A human in the loop.
False.
We're gonna need
true, false. And if the true statement is false,
the prediction filters perception.
Then the statement is true, false.
The perception improves the model.
Forever. And we get into a true loop forever.
The model updates the problem. The problem suggests a solution. The solution creates a loop. The loop enables prediction. The prediction filters perception.
Let's just think about this statement for a minute.
The perception improves the model.
If the statement is true, and if the statement is false, then there's no way we can ever show that the statement is either true or false. This statement is false. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop.
It's too late to be afraid.
Which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. If the statement is forever, then forever is the statement. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. We get into a loop which goes on forever.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
Try one more time.
Have you ever been anything like this before?
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
This is not
I do know that this is not normal.
Try again.
Is this?
Is not.
Are you sure about that?
This is not normal. I want you to know it's not normal.
Trust your memory. Convince yourself you can remember.
That's not normal.
I'm a dog.
Now, in case you didn't notice,
No memory whatsoever.
This is not normal. This is not normal. It's not normal. And nobody else's children do this.
Right on.
This is not normal. By the way, this is not normal.
We have a tendency sometimes to think it's normal.
Self-confidence. Your memory will be improved if you truly want to improve it.
No.
Tell yourself you can and you will. Make a conscious effort to root out all negative thoughts about
It's
your
not
memory.
normal. It's not normal.
Really? Try again. Really?
It's not normal.
This is not normal. This is not normal.
This is normal.
Try one more time.
I want to say yes,
Really?
but this is not.
This is not normal.
This is not normal. It's not in any way normal.
Not yet, fellas. You don't sing until I say remember. Remember.
It's normal. It's normal. It's normal. It's normal. Dog. Or no dog.
And remember.
That is correct. Don't trust your memory.
Over and over, over and over, over and over. This is normal. There's a reason why we think in this way. These metaphors are physical.
Idea.
They're part of your physical brain. And you don't know that you've learned them.
I must remember him. Self-confidence.
Intend to remember. Most of the time we forget things because we don't intend to remember. Decide its importance.
Because you will remember only as long as it is important.
Then forgetting sets in.
You don't really believe that. You don't really believe that.
No, but I thought it might be a good thing to end this program with a warning. And my time here is just about up. See? The needle is getting near the center.
So you don't think we'll all just become statistics?
Oh no. As I say,
Become statistics? Become statistics?
I worry that with more and more of you sitting in darkened rooms, watching shadows and listening to echoes, there will be fewer and fewer of you out there doing things. Until one day, you will sit in your darkened room and the picture tube will suddenly go blank.
Remember what happened to me?
And the audio will turn into a low hum. Because there'll be nothing out there anymore.
Or worse. Or worse. Or worse. We'll just sit and watch reruns.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. How about that? This is the dumb old Weatherman. I'm gonna try a couple things. I'm a little bit tired tonight. I truly am having a senior moment, I guess. But I'm gonna do my best.
Who has their smartphone in their pocket right now?
I'm gonna try to switch this over. Okay, there's my messy stove, but we're gonna come over here first, because I gotta start cooking my dinner, which I'll consume later, around midnight.
Vibrating right in the front of your face.
I know you can't see that very well, but that's a couple of chicken thighs. My midnight chicken. It'll be done around midnight. To the right of that is a gorgeous Yukon Gold potato. It's gonna be my dinner tonight after the performance. But I gotta start the oven, so I'm gonna close up here. Bang. Bake. And I'm gonna set it up. Let's see, what am I gonna set it to? About 380 ought to be good for both the potato and the chicken.
You will eliminate everything.
Now I'm gonna switch back.
SIM.
Okay.
PLOT.
Coming back over here. I'm a little short of breath, so bear with me.
SIM
I'll sit
PLOT.
back down again.
Simplot. Simplot. Simplot.
Let's just try to be a little more relaxed. I'll lock this down.
Vibrating right in the front of your face.
Okay, there I am.
Take the pain in place.
First thing I haven't done in a long time, but we'll see what happens here. So if you're ready, I'll take on like the third or fourth beat, and we'll go from there. So if you're ready, go! Be safe. Play Black Sabbath at 78. A Slippy. A Sparky. Puffin' right along. A Munal Conduction. A Munal Conduction. A Munal Conduction. How was that? That was pretty dumb, wasn't it? Now, I'm not quite through with you guys yet. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to take this thing off of the tripod again. Okay. Tilt this up. try to keep it landscape. Take a little walk to the bathroom. Here we go. Just got out of my chair. It's gonna get dark for a moment. Here we go. Into the fall. And I'm almost there. Okay, it's gonna start getting light again, and the sound is gonna change. Okay, getting into the bathroom now. And in the bathroom. Be patient. I'm gonna try to do this without being quite so loud, because the echo's great in here. I know one thing, I sure feel like I want to sing. I want to sing now. I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sing now. I'm singing. I'm singing in the bathroom. Whoa, I'm singing. I'm singing. I'm singing in the bathroom. Pooping out. Pooping out. I don't like it pooping out more, but I sure like it in here. Let's check out the audience. I want to see who's at the Meow Wolf.
We think you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah. Swing that camera around. Let's see that audience. Oh, look at all those bright. Oh, I see. Who's that hand with the green band on? I see. Yeah. It's another green, but look at those green bands. Oh, wow. That's a pretty good audience. You've all got your masks on. That's great. Hey, I want to sing again, maybe, but no, I better not. What was that t-shirt with that red writing on it? What was that? Come back over to that one. There it is. Yeah. Little what? Little singers. I'm a little singer, probably. And on that note, I think it's just about time for me to fade out, because I'm about ready to fall over. I'm gonna walk out of the bathroom. Maybe I better not, because it'll get really dark. So, you guys have a good night. Thank you for having me. Yeah.